Hi Scorpio, here is a general look at your solar chart for August 2016. Now for you, since late 2014, Saturn has been in the sign after yours, and that puts this energy of more responsibility and challenge, but also productivity and building into your area of your material security, finances, and anything to do with property matters. So you are now in a phase of being more concentrated on the work related to that material physical side of life. And I say physical as well because it can also be about the physical body, the physical well-being either of yourself or somebody else, diet, particularly diet related. Either for yourself or somebody else, you know, let food be my medicine, thy medicine, and medicine be thy food. And never was a truer sentence spoken, I don't think. Let food be thy medicine. Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food. Which sounds quite biblical to me, but I don't know exactly where it comes from. But having experience with these things myself, it's very, very true. So this is a time for you to be improving quality of life and looking at the resources you've got and what you can do with those, what you can do with assets, and capitalizing on any of that. Now, gradually, this side of thing takes shape. This transit happens to be there until late 2017, at which time it will pass on into Capricorn, which will put Saturn finally in a very, very good angle to your sun sign, Scorpio. At the moment, it's not in a bad angle. It's just in an area where you have to take more notice of the material world and how you can make the best of things in a material physical sense, and make what you have work better for you and build upon, build upon. And you can do very well with this transit here. Scorpio is born the 31st of October to the 3rd of November, or with 9 to 11 degrees rising, going to feel the energy the most this month. But having said that, the whole sign will feel that in lessening degrees, depending on how far out from those degrees you go, 9 to 11 degrees. Now, the current Saturn-Neptune transit, you have Neptune in an area which is in a stunningly good angle to your sun sign for a start. And similar degrees actually, sort of 31st of October, 3rd of November, and maybe a little bit further along the 4th of November. But you do tend to look through rose-tinted spectacles at things of the area that Neptune is currently transiting through, and Neptune will be going through that area for a few years to come. So it's probably advisable to pay attention to this. This is an area where you can actually weave that scorpionic, mesmeric spell over people, and it's the area of your creative core, your creativity. So if you were doing promotional work, media work, performance related type work, which of course in many fields of life we are performing, you know, you can do it in a kind of a low-key, casual way, or you can just add an extra flourish to whatever you're doing, whether it's road sweeping or being being a politician. Well, they're always performing, of course, so better not start on that. But so this is an area where you can really weave that spell. You can really get, as long as you're basing it on truth and honesty, but you can get people on side. Now, at the moment, we have Neptune very, very close by degree to Saturn, which means that this is a time that you need to be more methodical and structured in what you're doing. Other elements that are connected to the house that Neptune's transiting through is to do with your romantic relationships, partners, children. And here is a tendency as well to idealize this whole idea, you know, to look for like the highest connection, even beyond the sort of the physical sexual connection, but the highest connectivity we can have, like on a soul level and a spiritual level. So there is a tendency to worship somebody. Maybe that's too strong a word, but you get my drift here anyway. So it's being a little bit more realistic about things. But having said that, you're probably likely to be able to pull that one off okay and get the balance because of the angle of the aspect. Now there's one last thing in this area here, and that's to do with money, and that's to do with taking a gamble on things financial or related to property or related to a business or related to anything, is having this Neptunian sort of illusory quality, which is a bit tricky. It's a bit tricky, this one, because of where Saturn is at the moment, right? So Saturn is demanding that you be uber sensible and level-headed, cautious and steadily building towards an outcome, and probably doing quite well if you play the Saturn card right. The thing with Saturn is we tend to sort of want to just shrug our shoulders and cut loose, and because the obstacles just are too much. However, having surmounted certain obstacles, and of course they're not wall-to-wall 24/7, it will be, you know, you'll get a little flurry of them, probably a sort of a little kind of a stage along the I keep seeing a hurdles race, right, where you have to go over these hurdles, but there would be like 3 in a row, and then you get a long stretch without anything much, thinking yourself lucky because it's so easy, you know, and then you might get another one. So that's how it goes as the planet goes forwards and backwards over the degree, and then of course it'll move completely out of that set of degrees onto another set of degrees. So that's how it might turn up in your life. So to get back to this Neptune thing, this is where me as the sort of cynical old astrologer would say, watch your step a little bit and try to not to be unrealistic, you know, just make sure you got the rose tinted spectacles on the end of your nose rather than looking through them constantly. So you can have a look through them every now and again, because life is so pretty and who's to say it's not real? Maybe it's just on another parallel reality, which is like so close to where we are now. So maybe that's what we see when we put on the rose tinted spectacles. But I am going off at a tangent, sorry about that. So Neptune is in a brilliant angle to your sun sign. This is a major advantage, and you could get recognition now for, you know, your talent, your creativity, your pitch, you would come across as empowered, maybe to others. You would feel empowered, actually, probably from the feedback you're getting. You know, you don't let it go to your head, but you could, that scorpionic sort of charisma can really work well through this one, but just keep your feet on the ground. So got to be methodical, got to be structured, to do with children, to do with lovers, to do with partners, to do with taking a gamble on something. You have more of a kind of an itch to, yeah, let's just see how it goes, you know, take a gamble on this, and calculate, you know, have the contingencies in place, have the plan B, always have your plan B. So if you are at the stage of getting all your ducks in a row with something exciting, be persevering, don't give up. You can get there, but remember where Saturn is. So if it's to do with the material world, financial, that sort of structured side where you have to deal with maybe bureaucracy and red tape maybe, and you know, forms and that kind of thing. Just calculate all of the as best you can. Take a second opinion as well. If it's anything excuse me, creative, where you're really coming out and using your creative core on something and being inventive and innovative, then probably, and also spirituality and healing and anything like that, anything to do with the intuitive side, that could go very well as well. Just having a look at my, let's see it, because the sun's nearly coming through the window here from behind the clouds. Okay, so now I wanted to mention that because it could be useful to somebody out there. And Mars is changing. Mars is coming out of your sign and going into back into Sagittarius. So actually Mars is coming into the same area as of the area I've just been speaking about, this material security area, really revving it up, and things could start to speed up. So Mars is actually leaving your sign, which has made you maybe feel more impatient about things and want to get going on things, and going into the sign after yours, Sagittarius, and will be there for around about 6 weeks. So this is a time that this very slow burn, slow build, if you're taking actions on that material, physical side of life, the piggy bank, or property matters, or anything to do with possessions and other resources and assets, it's kind of a steady but slow. As soon as Mars comes in there, it's likely to bring certain things to a head or speed certain things up, accelerate matters. That means that any bit of territory that you are responsible for, or that you'd like to get your hands on, or indeed you'd like to tidy up and sort of weed out whatever's not needed, whether that's in the finances, whether that's in the property, whether that's in any other sort of bit of kit or object or possession that you have to maintain and be responsible for, or you'd like to maintain and be responsible for, and you'd like to get your hands on it, you've got to put in more effort now. It'll all start to speed up, I think. And don't quite know what that was. There's an old gas fire down here, but I don't think it's dangerous. Hopefully not. Neptune rules gas, by the way. Neptune rules fluids and gases, and we're moving out of the age of Neptune and going into the age of Uranus, and that rules electricity and also a lot of other stuff as well. But we're crossing over the two ages now, and not only electricity but power, energy, power. Whether that is light energy and light healing, or whether it's from wind turbines or geothermal or solar power or whatever. Anyway, I'm digressing again. Yeah, it's a sign of age. So anyway, Mars is gonna, really give you the push to get dynamic in that area there and roll up the sleeves, and if that's the stage you're at, or indeed just get decisive about what are we doing here, what do we need here, let's see how we can get this organized and manage this. And your physical strength could be stretched, or there could be tensions as you try to work through what needs to be done in a physical, material, financial sense. So there could be something going on which on the one hand helps you with your energy, but on the other hand kind of puts a demand on your energy as well, your physical energy. But watch your step related to your basic material security, because Mars can be a bit impulsive. However, I think because we've got this very slow, cautious energy of Saturn in there already, that you might just feel that you can't go wild with things, that you'll have to work like the plow horse in the harness through the furrows, and that's probably the way it'll go. Okay, so what else is going on? We have the Sun in an area of your house to do, area of your chart to do with, it's the 10th house. It's to do with parents. It can be to do with parents, but authority figures, the status quo, the establishment, and also how you present yourself to the world. You might feel you might have to give more of your attention to those sorts of people, and bureaucracy, officials, that kind of thing, but also to feel your responsibilities on your shoulders more. As the month kicks off, actually over the whole of the month, discussions, correspondence and targets may involve worldly responsibilities, but also a progressive time when you feel as though you can get the ball rolling on something. Maybe you're networking, maybe you're connecting in with a group dynamic of some kind, and you're getting feedback there, and you could feel like mentally anyway, you're very much in the future, very much thinking about the future. Now, until the 6th, Venus is helping you to create more favorable circumstances with authority figures. So as a matter of fact, if you're listening to this in July and you want to kind of, I don't know, get a good relationship with somebody in a position of power who can help you, or in a position to make a decision about something that's very, very close to your heart, probably you could do not too badly up until the 6th, even after the 6th, but particularly before the 6th is when Venus is in the area, which is meaning that authority type figures are likely to be more supportive, and that includes parents, teachers, but also includes officials of various kinds. So just a word in your ear about that one, and you would tend to feel supported as you move forwards with something that you may have hoped for a while, particularly after the 6th. Certain things that you may have hoped for, maybe for a long time, could be starting to come in your direction. You feel that, you feel the support there. Anything related to the groups, friendships, contacts, associations, connections, useful connections, and also anything related to technology or activity online, interesting, materially beneficial, is likely to be interesting and materially beneficial, and generally facilitate positive experiences, or in fact bring abundance in your direction. So the more you're kind of out there, or connecting with those out there, maybe at a distance, maybe not, but those with a similar interest in common, then you're likely to feel that coming, those goodies coming in your directions. Always we have to play our cards right with these things, because it is not one size fits all with astrology, particularly sun sign astrology, because it's always to do with the checks and balances and the measures that are going on in the natal chart and the progress chart and the solar arc chart, and then of course we have just the sun sign chart, which is what I'm doing here. So there's quite a lot of different things to sort of gauge and analyze. But in general, I do find that even this sun sign astrology is really quite surprising in its accuracy sometimes. And of course, this is just my slant on things. Now, from the 23rd, the solar energy makes it a forward-moving phase. We pick up on this future-orientated, progressive phase more and more and more in August. And now, Jupiter is in a fortunate angle to your sun sign at the moment, coming out of, just trying to see against the light here. Ooh, you see, I've been rabbiting on here too long. And new friends, colleagues, those with a shared aim or interest will show you a new angle or expand your world over this phase. So it's been a good time for you to make those very, very useful connections. Scorpio is born the 12th to the 20th of November, or 21 to 29 degrees rising, and feel that energy the most. And that's it for August. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, listen to those. And also check out this material on DianaGarland.com. Hopefully it'll be there this time. And I'll see you the next time.